welcome. My name is Elizabeth A. Fortune. I am the founder and CEO of NurseExec Innovation. I'm also the host of the series called Pass the Mic. Today, I'm so excited to have my nursing colleague, sister, friend, Divine Nine. She's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and she is the CEO and Chief Medical Officer of her brand company, Yorkshire Wellness Group Incorporation. She also has a phenomenal rollout kickoff that she has kicked off today on May 15th. So I also would like to share a little tidbit about Dr. Blackwell. She is a graduate of Monmouth University. She obtained her MSN degree from Monmouth University. She's also a graduate of the Howard University. That's where she got her Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. And she received her doctorate of nursing practice from Frontier University. Also to be noted is that she was noted as a listed in a publication called the GT Nurses of Washington, D.C. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, yes. And she was also, uh, at the spur of the moment, she rose up to the call when I called her for a featured episode of Show Me Your Stethoscope, which is an
Oh, yeah.
exclusive feed at the Dr. Oz show. So
Absolutely.
she also has a plethora of nursing experience, leadership experience. But today we are going to focus, we're going to be laser focused on wellness because a big part of what we just endured in the past 3 years, let's not forget, we endured.
Yes.
Some of us were surviving,
Yes.
others are thriving, and
Yes.
others are suffering. Suffer no more because we have Dr. LaTanyua Blackwell, who's here to share with us how she's going to take you from the mode of survival to thriving. Yes, we're going to go from surviving to thriving. So I just want to just lead in before I pass the virtual mic over to you, Dr. Blackwell. I
Yeah.
just, it's so apropos that what we're talking about today, which is wellness equilibrium, right? We're
Yes.
talking about wellness equilibrium, how to get
Mm-hmm.
your equilibrium back when you're off kilter.
Mm-hmm.
So, just a
Mm-hmm.
little tidbit. Dr. Blackwell and I don't even remember what year it was during the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, but we clearly knew that something was wrong with me. Something was wrong. Something was off. I
Mm-hmm.
was not notably, visibly overwhelmed to people that were my close circle, but you were able to pick up that wow, you're not Liz, you're not something's going on, and I appreciate you, and I applaud you for picking that up at that moment. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where we need people in our circle or people that we don't talk to on a regular is be able to pick up on those little nuances. So I just
Yes.
wanted to lean into where I talked about I'm going to go through how we're going to define it. We're going to introduce you, Dr. Blackwell. Is that okay with you?
Sure. Sure.
Thank you. So I just
Uh-huh.
wanted to lean in with the viewers and those that will catch the replay and those that will catch it months and years later, right? So
Mm. Mhm.
These past 3 years, for those of you who are not aware, according to the CNN health report of May 1st, 2022, we lost a total of 6.2 million people to COVID 19 during a global pandemic.
Mhm.
Our society has been flooded with images of narratives creating lackluster, reality of hopelessness, chaos, confusion, misinformation, and loss. But
Mhm.
let me lean in even further. I shared about in the book, it says, I'm going to read an excerpt. It says, if there was a magical wand, a magical formula, a special wand to erase those years in images, many would have purchased it readily. Honestly, the pandemic has shed light on families, institutions, and workforce culture. The main
Mhm.
themes that took center stage in 2020 and beyond have been spotlight on mental health, redefining workforce culture, redesign of worship and ministry outreach virtually and in person, um, generational traumas, increased domestic violence and divorce cases, creating a safe space, self care, and meditation practice to boot. So many
Right.
took this opportunity to remember, re examine, recommit, and reset their lives to the value of God, humanity, and time. So I'm going to lead in with Dr. Blackwell. How are you going to utilize your phenomenal brand of Yorkshire Wellness to elevate, to reset, to
Mhm.
renew
Mhm.
men, women? You're a family nurse practitioner, correct?
Correct.
So family nurse, you take care of the entire gamut, right?
Mhm.
Men,
Right.
and children.
Yes.
So that is my first question to you. After I just kind of leaned in with all of that,
Mhm.
what are some thoughts in regards to how you would like to contribute to a better, healthy people, health and wealthy society post pandemic?
Well, first, let me thank you for having me here, and thank you for that beautiful introduction and the background that you offered about me. It sounds like you may be talking about someone else, but I'm glad for the things that I have been able to experience. And what I can say is that Yorkshire Wellness Group is holistic in that I'm focused on the entire individual and family, and not just from a clinical standpoint, but as a whole person who has experienced what you just described the last 3 years, the shock of it all. I could never have imagined that we were going to have that kind of experience in my lifetime. And it surprised me, some of the human responses to pain and suffering. Some seemed to take a certain pleasure in it and wanted to exacerbate it as much as possible. Others were barely holding on, and others were not able to hold on. And they expired and passed away during that critical point. And in my practice, I want to take a look at how the spirit and the emotional and mental aspects impact the physical and impact the external world around you, and how you show up in the world, who your representative shows up as, if they feel safe and heard and seen. That's going to impact how you deliver whatever it is you're here to deliver to the world. That's only to come from you. It's unique to you. Maybe some people will describe it as your reason for being here. So that is what I would say is my focus, to hear and to see people as whole people and not just a diagnosis or a condition.
So the other question that I had that I was thumbing through your Yorkshire Wellness website, and you have a full gamut, full gamut, and I love the way you address the mental health piece because a lot of people don't realize it's mind over matter. When you
Mm.
tell your mind, that's how it all connects. A lot of
Mhm.
people don't realize that psychosomatic disorders are real.
Mhm.
You tell your body that you're not well,
Mm.
all of a sudden you start exhibiting symptoms. So, what are some what are some practices or recommendations that you offer? Or let's get let me back up. What were some key things clients would come in and say to you? I am really struggling. This is what's really happening. Um, Even to the point, did you even find that you needed to know more? What were they struggling with, or what are they currently struggling with, and where did you have to shift your practice? Because a lot of people, nurse practitioners and doctors, I know had to shift. So what did you see that you had to do?
There was an overwhelming sense of despair and hopelessness, especially during the time of the previous administration for my clientele. Anxiety was rampant, depression, inability to focus. Are we ever going to come out of this? Are we going to be okay? Am I going to be okay? Some of my patients had already lost family members, had already been very ill themselves, and they were seeking reassurance, is what I encountered a lot. Um, just, they've never felt this overwhelming doom that they experienced during the height of the pandemic. And so I had to shift to more psychiatry than family care. Of course, we weren't seeing people in person, but the Ryan Height Act was suspended and telemedicine privileges were extended across the country that relaxed some of the guidelines that determines our practice. So we were able to do a lot more via telemedicine in terms of getting services and interventions and medications that people needed. And I did play a role in that with psychiatric patients during the pandemic. And so that was a big shift for me because most of my practice had been some minor gynecology, um, some family medicine, more adult than children, more internal med than family med, but some pediatrics as well. And I shifted from that to almost 100% psychiatry. I had some, standard medical patients, but that's a big change that I saw in my practice. And it caused me to develop a skill set, I will say, that I did not anticipate being a part of my career. I had been a intensive treatment area psychiatric nurse when I was a young nurse in my youth. And I didn't have any intention of practicing in psychiatry in my family practice. But that became a necessity because the need was so great and overwhelming. So I absolutely pulled on everything I knew and learned some things that I needed in order to treat appropriately in that critical time.
So
And what was, did I catch the second part of your question? Say that second part.
Yeah, you addressed. So the question was, um, what were some of the current themes that you noted in your practice that people are struggling with and discover solutions against? And the other part was in regards to how did you shift and how you dealt with it. You get an A plus credit.
So I also wanted to mention, if you could speak up a little bit more for me so I can hear you. I heard what you said, but it was very low.
Okay.
But the other thing I wanted to say was I changed my website to include sound therapy so that people could just go to my website and play 528 megahertz
The frequency.
ocean sounds, the
Like
frequency ocean
frequency.
sounds.
Okay.
Hmm.
Look, we're
Yeah.
on the same, we're on the same frequency. Yes.
Yes. So I redesigned my website to accommodate for that. And you can just go to the website, click play on the audio player, and just let it play in your environment. And hopefully it will bring down the anxiety and the panic
Yeah.
that that you may be experiencing. You can use it on your lunch break. You can use it when you need to take a 15-minute respite in a day that is just bombarding you with tasks and responsibilities. So that's another way that I try to be there without being physically able to be there.
So thank you for sharing that. And I do mention it again. This happens to be, or your wellness equilibrium topic goes hand in hand with this book. Um, because as I mentioned, a big part of me having to write the book was
Hmm.
because of that experience that I had with you and just other things that were going on. And I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, I'm a strong chick.
Yes.
If I'm falling apart,
Yeah.
what does the rest of the world look like? That's kind of how I felt. And
Yes.
I was like, no, Liz, you gotta get together. And I was listening to the frequencies as you recommended. I was definitely look. You see the book? What is that show? Ocean, right? I was definitely by the ocean, and I was definitely. And what did you say? Just to journal, right? I
Yeah.
was definitely journaling.
Yes.
So my next
Yes.
question to you, Dr. Blackwell,
Mm-hmm.
is what did you do during that time
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
decompress,
Mm-hmm.
to de-stress,
Mm-hmm.
to reset, to
Mm-hmm.
re-energize? Because
Mm-hmm.
you are a advanced practitioner. You're
Mm-hmm.
a higher level. I'm not taking anything away from any other nurses,
Mm-hmm.
staffers, nurses in the community,
Of
but
course.
I can definitely speak to the nurse practitioner. I have a nurse practitioner in my community. I am lucky by the way to speak to her twice a week
Mm.
for 2 weeks.
Mm. Wow.
She's been very busy,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
very busy. She was so overwhelmed. And I know others that were overwhelmed with the documentation and the legalities and it was so much. So as
Mm-hmm.
you're doing this for others,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's so beneficial. How did you
Well,
counteract and overcome that?
hmm, so you mentioned the sound therapy, you mentioned journaling. I do that a lot. I love music. I love uh, my dog. I spent a lot of time just making sure that my environment was sanitized. And I don't mean with alcohol and free of COVID. I mean sanitized in terms of what I was listening to, what I was watching during that time alone when we were under stay-at-home orders. And I just made sure that I wasn't engaging with people that brought my energy down. So what I have is a very strict curation policy. And if I feel an internal drag because I'm attempting to maintain a relationship with someone who may have less than favorable intentions towards me for whatever reason, I make sure to make edits where necessary, deletions, omissions, and additions with those who are very healthy for me. I invite them into the circle and I make sure to reach my hand out and strengthen the bond and the connection. Hence, the conversation that you and I had when I noticed that something had changed. And I'm taking it that it's okay for me to share my perspective of that experience. So you and I, we have known each other for years, of course, but we have not spoken regularly. And during the pandemic, when I had an opportunity to just check in on you, see how you're doing, how everything has been, I could immediately tell the dysregulation and the crisis that you were experiencing and the help that you needed. And I immediately said, it's time, the community needs to rally around. I called people that I trusted to hold that close and with dignity and integrity and love. Okay. And I said, I cannot get to her. I need someone to go and check on her because things are not going well. And I am glad that I did that because a lot of times we have this, that's not my business. I'm not getting involved. It's kind of this disconnect where we don't see our people as people. And it's how can you not see your people as people? you know, Aside from your connections or your civic organizations that you're a part of, and all of our representative putting on airs that things are always okay and we always got it going on and we always running the show. Absolutely not. I don't do any of the labor of pretending I'm okay in order to make other people comfortable and feel like I'm not inconveniencing them with my humanity. I don't do labor like that. And so when I heard that conversation, my heart was just, I have to figure out a way to coordinate the right people to get to her so that she can get to help because it is needed and it's needed right now. And I am so happy you survived. I am so happy your sons and everybody, they were okay. I was so concerned and I kept calling back to back days after days after days. Did you talk to her? How's she doing now? How's she doing now? And I just wanted to know the movement through. You got the critical intervention that you needed, and then you got back home and things were beginning to, I don't like the word normalize, things were beginning to recalibrate to where you could focus and be present and then show up in all of the roles that you carry, family, professionally, academically, socially. Yes, yes. Hmm.
Been a very transparent type person. I'm always willing to lend a helping hand. So
Hmm.
something you just said was that you curated an environment that is really uh, judicious of your ear gates. That's what I got. Your ear gates,
Yes,
through your ears, your earbuds
yes,
through your eyes. What are you watching
yes,
and what are you spewing? So what was
yes,
happening for me, I was doing exactly what you were doing. The only difference was that because I was, remember, you remember, I was doing a lot of tapping the mic, doing a lot of
yes,
things. I was
yes,
really, I was really in my zone. But
yeah.
what I realized as I reflect back,
Hmm.
people necessarily have the coping mechanisms
Mm-hmm.
and self-care practices in place.
Mm-hmm.
What was happening was the theme of people calling me and they were just, what's the word, releasing their frustration.
Oh, so you were taking it all on.
You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
when people are releasing
Mm-hmm.
their toxic,
Mm-hmm.
I have it in the
Mm-hmm.
book.
Mm-hmm.
What are your 8 lifeline tools? Number
Mm-hmm.
one,
Mm-hmm.
boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Even situations where
That's right.
I literally could say, I really believe that you need some help,
Mm-hmm.
and I am not able to assist to the level that you need.
Right.
I had
Absolutely.
would you believe I actually had somebody call me up
Mm-hmm.
to the point of harassing me, thought that I
Mm.
was because I blocked her. I said,
Oh my
listen,
goodness. Mm-hmm.
boundaries. And what I found through the pandemic that some people, some people just get to the point it's like, oh my God, I need your energy. This is what I'm hearing. I need your energy.
Mm-mm.
So what happens? Your energy gets pulled.
No.
The other part, there was a sequence of events of people passing away in my family
Yes.
and people with
Yes.
COVID passing away.
Yes.
And
Yes. It was
people,
too much.
it's all in the book.
Yeah.
People not having funerals where they could say goodbye to their loved ones.
It was
So
horrendous. Yes.
being who I am, you know the word empathetic,
Right.
empath.
Right.
I don't even necessarily have to go with someone.
Mm-hmm.
I could hear the vibration just like the people do. So
Mm-hmm.
if you thank you for being able to be so empathetic and hear me, that is a gift that you have. Some are
Mm-hmm.
born with it. So the next
Mm-hmm.
question I have for
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
is that I mentioned in regards to the global pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
meditation. I know some people are really learning the stages of meditation,
Mm-hmm.
and also I know a lot are learning self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Those are self-care techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Actually walking. When I was calling up in college, they would say I'm out walking. There was nothing else to do.
Right. Right.
So as
Which is
as
what we should have been doing anyway, though, right?
exactly. So as you curated this wonderful, you've already had the brand, but as you started to shift and started to really take note of things that you want to bring to light in regards to your brand, what were
Mm-hmm.
some areas that you would recommend or you would tell your clients to do in the midst of the pandemic and even post pandemic?
Um, check in with yourself. I have spent a life doing the necessary and it was boring. And now that I've done the necessary, I intend to enjoy the fruits of my labor and be the first beneficiary of it. Many times we are encouraged to be selfless to the point of being toxic to self. And I think we need to shift that paradigm um, from selflessness to being a collaborator where you are not giving of yourself and depleting of yourself so much that you are empty and lacking, but that there is a mutually beneficial exchange of energy where you can also call that person in time of need. Those are the only relationships that I engage in and nurture. Everything else is if we have to be interacting or be together for some reason, I will do my part, I will show up. But if there is nothing healthy there, make sure you don't spend a whole lot of time on it. And I I've learned where I don't belong, and I've learned the peace that comes with accepting that. And I've learned where I belong and the places that grow me, expand me, and celebrate the fullness of who I am. Because I am a lot of woman and a lot of person. And I happen to enjoy that in particular about myself. And if another, has a different response or assessment to it, that is absolutely fine, is wonderful. You go where you are celebrated and it works for you, and I will do the same. And there's no love loss, there's no peace loss. It's just our energies are not two flames that should travel together in the course of this moment in life. And the acceptance of that and just being able to walk away. And I mean, no matter what it is, if it is unpleasant to the point where it is reducing my quality of life, it is making me dread any upcoming interaction. We don't need to be interacting. I can go read and get a coloring book or something. I don't need to be bothered with that. You go ahead. I will find ways to entertain myself. I absolutely will not. And the way that I saw how people did not care about their impact on others. The last 3 years was an exercise in the human condition and our capacity for selfishness and selflessness. So we saw the extremes of both of those paradigms in fierce opposition to one another. And when I run into something that I deem is selfish, or you are doing something so that you can feed some sort of disequilibrium in yourself, thinking that you can take from me to prop yourself up or whatever, I will let you go find another source of energy. You can have the entire arena. I will find something else somewhere else. And that has brought so much peace and so much centeredness. And then when I need to show up for the people that I love, that are reciprocal in their care and concern about my well-being, the synergy is unmatched. It is giving. There is no halt, no hesitation, no pretense. And it is so edifying and nurturing. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And sometime, let me see here. I wrote something that I read that I wanted to share with you. I said, I've learned over time to leave people who become angered when I practice self care. They prefer to have unfettered access to wreak havoc and transfer their destruction and cause you to rely on aftercare.
Mm,
They want somewhere to dump,
yes,
and I am not available for that
yes.
in any capacity for any reason. For any reason.
And that
I am there to empathize. I am there to help you through. I won't leave anyone in crisis that I truly care about. But if you are here to dump because you are feeling out of sorts, and I'm an easy target, I am no longer participating in aftercare. My self care is preventative. Okay. And it will remain so. I am in healthcare. I don't know why people think that that is not our first mind. Preventative care is where it's at.
no, but can I tell you? And then I'm gonna lead into the kickoff.
Uh-huh.
But come on, Latanya, really? Okay, I'm gonna take the doctor off for a moment. Latanya,
Uh-huh.
really? I
Yes.
really believe that somewhere, somehow, people believe that doctors, nurses, anyone that's working in healthcare, we
Mm-hmm.
are a family, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
always think that we are there to diagnose them, treat them. They don't have prescriptive privileges. They even want you to write a script. So,
Yes.
and that is what was happening. But let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you, in the book, again, I mentioned in the book, there's five P's, and the
Mm-hmm.
first P is peace, right? But
Yes.
the P's can kind of go intertwined wherever you are in the stage of your walk,
Right.
right? But
Uh-huh.
let me tell you, when that overwhelm, mental overwhelm, like I lost me, laser focus, I lost focus to the point
Mm-hmm.
where I remember scrolling on my cell phone trying to order something, Uber Eats. I
Mm-hmm.
was just passing, I couldn't even, it was overwhelming just to order some Uber Eats. That's
Yeah.
when I
The
became
simplest things.
overwhelmed.
Right.
So, let me tell you about peace. Peace, you cannot buy it on a shelf. Peace, you
That's right.
cannot buy it in the store.
That's
Peace
right.
is so under is underrated.
I'm telling you.
So
I'm
underrated.
telling you.
Okay.
Yes.
I've gotten back to the point where like what is a 2 year old's favorite word, Latanya? What's their favorite word?
No.
Okay. So the
Mine
word
too. Mine
so
too.
so I have really mastered the art of no.
Yeah. Mm-mm. No.
I've really mastered the art of being present,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I remember a
Absolutely.
few times you would see I would take pictures or videos of me in the park
Uh-huh.
and just letting my mind be free. Okay?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
our minds, we are meant to think, but sometimes we need to just decompress. So I see that you have a wonderful kickoff. That it says it at the bottom of the screen. Kickoff May
Yes.
19th. I'm
Yes.
excited. I'm looking
Yes.
forward. You had said that we can sign up, and you said, I believe, I don't want to. I'll let you lead into what that looks like because I
Yes.
don't want to miss
Sure.
say anything. Go ahead and
Sure, sure, sure. Thank you for that. So we have a 6 week body transformation makeover push. Okay. These medications came out about a year or so ago, and I sat and I kind of watched the market to see what these injections would do. They fight obesity. Okay. These are weight loss injections that are fighting the obesity pandemic. But before I jumped on board when it was all hot and all the craze, I wanted to get some clinical data feedback first of what people would face and experience with the medication. And then I wanted all of the legal kinks and things kind of to work itself through the system. So now Yorkshire Wellness is ready to jump into the fray and begin offering semaglutide and tirzepatide, which are compounded peptides that aid in weight loss. And if you combine them with the other things in my exclusive program that I have designed and done a lot of research to create, you will be successful. A lot of times we are carrying around excess weight and we don't have a partner in our hope and desire to address the physicality that we are not satisfied with. It's not always fun to discipline yourself and go it alone. So, this is like having an ally in your arsenal that will help with the diet and lifestyle modifications that you're adding to promote your best self and give yourself the best life you can. Because you have to be the first partaker of giving yourself the world.
yes,
We expect it from romance, we expect it from family or friend relationships, but you should be the first person to try to give yourself the world so that you can, again, be who you want, go after what you want without hesitation. So this kickoff is one of support, one of finally getting hopes and dreams realized. People who maybe don't want to have bypass surgery, people who maybe don't want to have cosmetic surgery and have the total body lift, or I can't remember the other names of those procedures right now, but those who are trying to avoid that and they want the behavior change so that they don't fall back into the habits that led them there. And it'll give them time to work on their mental health, because there's always a mental component to it when you're using food to cope. We know that. We're well versed in um, how it is used as a drug and the neurotransmitters that it acts on, and gives us that feeling of relief and satiety, and helps us feel emotions, joy. After you eat, if you're feeling sad, you put something sweet or salty or whatever your drug is, you get one of those and your mood lifts. It's not all in your thinking. There are chemical reactions going on there. So if we can address all of that, again, looking at the total person, I am so excited to get this started and kicked off and for people to join in. There is a cash prize. There will be a drawing at the end of June for everyone who signs up, and one lucky person is going to win the $500 cash prize. And then we are going to continue doing this, because this is not a one-time thing. People with a lot of weight to lose will need to do multiple cycles. So there will be other promotions ongoing, ongoing, ongoing. It's not a get you in and then drop you. And then, well, once I stop taking it, won't I gain all the weight back? No, the dose, you titrate it down to either a maintenance dose if you feel that you need it, or you can spot treat in the future after you hit your goal, when you have something coming up and you just want to shed a few to get prepared for whatever the event might be. But I think people should explore all of the information that I've placed on the website about compounded medications, about these two peptides in particular that I have decided to focus on primarily in the practice. If these are not tolerated well by those who sign up, there are many options that we can use alone or in combination that will get us to the same result. But there is finally research-backed help for obesity. And that, I think, Mounjaro and Ozempic and all of those medications, I think these are the first of their kind to address the genetic predisposition to obesity and the struggle that people have getting excess weight off and balancing hormones, because a lot of it is hormone driven. So all of that information and access and links to take you to more in-depth data is on the website under www.yorkshirewellness.com/weight-loss. So you can go there, read up about it, join us. It doesn't matter when you join. The drawing will be at the end of June, so your name will be thrown into the pot, and you may be the lucky winner. We welcome all who are accepted, and it's safe for you to take. You do need lab work. You do need to make sure there's no history of thyroid medullary cancer. We can't administer this medication to that patient population. But if everything is okay for you to take the medication, it has been and demonstrated tremendous efficacy. So I'm very excited that we have finally partnered with trusted, reputable pharmacies that will send this compounded medication straight to your home. And I will be holding your hand along the way and be available for guidance in your journey. And I want people to be happier and healthier and go into the next year better than they started.
Yes, yes, and congratulations. Are you busy? Because I know a lot of people like to, have all walking all the way up to start. Are you going to join the kickoff as well?
I may. I'm thinking about joining in and throwing my hat into the fray. We will see.
Great, great. And any opportunity to partner and talk with down the line?
I have thought about that and just providing the link and the contact information. And I do have someone in mind, but I would have to have a conversation with them first before I can say, put that out into the
Yes,
atmosphere.
yes,
I have to ask permission. But I do have someone in mind that I think would be, excellent in that role. Um, but we'll see. We'll see.
yes. And also, when you get a chance, maybe you can drop me in the actual comment section for those that are either watching live or those that are actually listening.
Oh, yes.
Link that, and we can do it later, or
I
whatever
can
you
put it
want
in
to
the
do.
chat. Is the chat open for everyone now?
Yeah, so post the comments. You could do it
Okay, sure. Oh, under comments.
in the comments, so people can
Okay,
see it.
sure.
But if you put it in the chat, I think that's private chat. You don't want people to see it. But if you put it in the comments, it'll
Well,
show.
it won't allow me to post under comments.
Oh no. Okay. You know what? When the broadcast is over, you can definitely drop
I
your
can comment under that. Okay, I will do that. I will do that.
and so the next and final question, because I see it's already we've been on the broadcast for about 40 minutes.
Yes.
Um, if you were to give the viewers any particular takeaways on maintaining your level of wellness or living, what would be some key points that you would share?
I would say self evaluation. Make sure that you are not part of the toxicity that could be bringing you down. So do a lot of checking in with self and do a lot of evaluating of your impact on other people and how you're adding to the positivity of an experience or the negativity of it. Take ownership and then make corrections where corrections are needed. If it is beyond repair, remove yourself from the situation, no matter how great the loss, because there's nothing worse than enduring something that is taking life and years away from you. So we have cardiovascular disease, especially in the African American community. We have kidney disease, especially in the African American community. That's associated with genetics, diet, lifestyle. Yes. It's also associated with how we treat each other. It's also associated with the isolation that we have a tendency to experience because we're still stuck in junior high school with some of our behaviors. And we're tolerating things that are just below the standard of being a healthy adult. And we need to develop a lack of tolerance for things that do not serve our highest selves. An absolute no, a resolute no. I will not engage, I will not participate. Remove, I take responsibility for whatever it is that my part was. I will examine that and I will be better. I will improve and be better and be a good experience next time around.
Yes,
But that accountability and that ownership is heavy. And you are responsible for the little person that didn't have what they needed at some point. You are responsible for protecting them and providing them with a world that lets them know their trauma will be seen, heard, and dealt with in love.
perfect. Well said. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And if you
Mhm.
could share with the audience, what are some of your services organizations around prevention health? Because with this global pandemic, we just survived and now we're moving to thrive. But what are some other key services? Because you mentioned the weight loss. What are some
Mhm.
other things that you do?
So I still do full spectrum family medicine. I still have all of the services that are available. I had an aesthetic side that I was engaging in prior to the pandemic. I don't know that I would go back into that just yet. I still have all of the equipment that's just sitting, but waiting to be used. However, but I still offer the full spectrum medical side of things, as well as the weight loss and the psychiatric. And I'm not the psych certified for the advanced mental health concerns, but family medicine does cover your anxiety, depression, paranoia, OCD, things like that. So I address those things, and those that are out of my scope, I refer to a trusted colleague that I have built a bridge to.
Well,
Yes.
can you also share with us, again, I know you mentioned earlier the website, but what are key ways that they can find you on social media?
All social media is at Yorkshire Wellness, and that's YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Uh, Email health@yorkshirewellness.com. Phone number 877-629-6454. And the website www.yorkshirewellness.com.
So again, Dr. LaTanyua Blackwell, I want to say thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
being you, being a wonderful, wonderful person, a human being,
Thank you.
soaring,
Thank you.
always being willing to step up and answer the call. And I really, really, truly appreciate you. I really do. Um, and I didn't forget about that NYC Connect. I'm working, you know how we work. We're very big on alignment. We have to get the alignment with NurseExec.
Okay.
So I'm working on that. But I just wanted to say, for those of you who haven't purchased the book, it's called Beyond the Label. It's actually a book, and there's a journal. And I'm sure you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, I take a lot of time writing everything. And what we know is that whatever we need, whatever we perceive, we have to write it down
That's right.
keep a
Mhm.
copy of it. So
Mhm.
I just would, say thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
bringing us that health visit. You
You're
are
welcome. I like that. You should coin it. Make sure you snatch that up. Trademark it.
Trademark, right? That's wow. Yeah, I have to write
Yeah.
that down for Gabby.
Uh-huh.
So you're such a womanist class, and ladies,
Thank you.
I thank you so much for your patience because mine was kind of a deja vu of 2019 when we first met. Dr.
Yeah.
Blackwell was our first, Pastor Mike Guest was our first post pandemic. So thank you so much for taking the time and the opportunity. And I'm going to say good night to everyone. Take care and be
Thank you.
blessed.
Thank you. Have a good night.